All right, the Marshall SV20. It's been out for quite a while now and it's getting a lot of buzz. It's really, really good. I'm borrowing a friend's here. Today we're going to look at a few ways to capture the sound in terms of recording or practicing at home through studio monitors. So no speaker output today. There's a few different ways we're going to look at. Firstly, there is a DI out. Now the manual, which is very lean, but the manual does say it comes with a speaker emulation. I'm assuming that's another way to say IR. So we're going to try that firstly. Secondly, we're going to use a different IR that I've plugged in two different ways in Logic. So different IR loaders, just to see if that makes a difference there. So that's sort of a second and a third. And then the fourth way, I'm going to go through the Boss Tube Amp Expander. Same IR. Now, it's not full apples to apples, but I think it'd be an interesting exercise. So I'll try a couple of different sounds. Right now I'm on a humbucker. It's a Strat style guitar, but it is a humbucker. And I'm going pretty crunchy. Okay, nice sound. Dry. No effects, just want to hear the amp. All right, I set up a loop pedal, so it's same guitar, same performance. We're going to cycle through the 4 different ways to get the signal into the DAW being recorded inside Logic. As I said, we're going to be looking at the DI, and then the next 3 are using the same IR, one using Space Designer Logic, another one using the NadIR from STL, and then the last one is going to be using the Tube Amp Expander. Now that's the one that's going to be a bit different because it does have a power amp and stuff like that inside it. In the signal chain, there's nothing on it, no EQ, no reverb, nothing. But the Tube Amp Expander is going to be doing some color. So who's going to compare them? Let's start with Direct. Okay, so the DI from the Marshall sounds horrible. It doesn't quite sound like a raw sound that you get out external to a cab or an external to an IR. So there's something on it, but it's really not usable. Again, I don't know whether I'm doing something wrong here. It's just DI out into the interface, but yeah, not usable. The next 2 or the next 3, of course, are exactly the same IR from York Audio. And the first 2 are really, really similar, right? You can hear the Space Design and the NadIR are similar, but they're different. They are different. There's a bit much harshness, or a bit more harshness, I think, on the Space Designer than the NadIR. So that's interesting, right? Maybe not all IR loaders are created equal. Now on the NadIR, I used the mono, only the one, not blending 2 IRs. It's a great loader actually. There's a lot you can do with it, but yeah, apples to apples, there's no sort of EQ or anything on it. Everything's turned off. So slight difference between the Space Designer and the NadIR. Now then, of course, the Tube Amp Expander, as you'd expect. I mean, it's pretty expensive, but if you treat it as an IR loader, even though it's got the power amp and everything, it's a much, much fuller sound. Very, very different to the other 2. As you'd expect. But again, interesting to see when you're in a recording situation, the different gear that you can get different sounds. All right, let's try some same idea, but with a different sound coming from the SV20. So slightly cleaner sound, still crunchy, but not as overdriven as the last one. And to me, it's more of a difference between them. Well, particularly the DI is rubbish, Len. Let's just agree not to use that. But the Space Designer and the NadIR loaders were more different to me than the Tube Expander. The Tube Expander's got a really nice, full, round sound. It's quite amazing. Let's just do one more. If you're still watching at this point, let's do one more with some effects. Let's see if you'd notice it. If you're playing over something, whatever, with some lead and delay and reverb. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay, what do you think? Obviously, there's so much variety, and it really does make a difference. You've got a great bass sound, but again, forget the DI. That is pretty horrible unless I'm missing a switch. Space Designer and the NadIR, and they're the only two I use, but they do sound a little bit differently depending on what you're doing. So it's worth experimenting a little bit, not only with IRs but with the loaders as well. And then of course, the not apples to apples with tube amp expander sounds great, sounds really, really big and warm. But anyway, fun experiment. I hope you got something out of it. See you next time.